So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our series of planets through Nakshatra. And yes, today we're going to be discussing a very, very unique Nakshatra known as Abhijit Nakshatra. Abhijit Nakshatra is an invisible Nakshatra that is working, still working, behind the scenes of two nakshatra themselves. Such a beautiful concept. You got a zodiac sign in the front, two zodiac sign or zodiac sign of Capricorn in the front. Okay. Then you got two nakshatras in the sign of Capricorn, which is Uttara Ashada and Saravan. Okay. These are the wheels. Nakshatras are the wheels that kind of like move the zodiac, that energize the zodiac. But then, this is that one placement in the entire zodiac cycle where there's actually another hidden nakshatra known as Abhijit Nakshatra, which occurs from 640 of Capricorn to I believe 11 degrees of Capricorn, where these two nakshatra meet. But before we get started, if you do not know where your Saturn is placed, what planet you may have in this particular nakshatra, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction, Aspects, and Mahadashas of the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link. Abhijit used to be a very aspiracious nakshatra back in the days of Krishna and Pandavas and even Ram, where all the aspiracious activities were started whenever sun, moon were transiting this particular nakshatra. And obviously the mythology of this is that Lord Krishna, when he found out that Duryodhan in the great Mahabharata was starting the Mahabharata during this nakshatra, he's like, if he starts the war during this nakshatra, we're going to lose because it's so powerful, even I cannot control it. So what Krishna did is he hid that nakshatra. When they were waiting for that aspiracious time, he took that constellation and he hid it in the sky. So they couldn't figure out, okay, has the moon entered or no? And by the time the clouds came out, by the time the sky was clear, moon had already crossed that 11th degree of Abhijit. So Mahabharata was started in Saravan Nakshatra. So this particular nakshatra, okay, most of the time you will hear, this is a nakshatra of victory, being victorious, finding victory in everything that you do. It is right, it is true in a way. But the thing is, this is obviously is a nakshatra that is controlled by Brahma and Vishnu. I forgot the name that is used. There's another, it starts with V. One of the deities of this nakshatra. But this is, it literally is controlled by the two entities that have created everything here. So now you're putting Saturn into this dynamic. And this is a nakshatra that is believed that still is ruled by Sun. So Uttara Ashada is ruled by Sun. Abhijit itself is ruled by Sun. And then Saravan comes in, which is Moon. So here's Saturn. First of all, if you try to strive for material wealth, with Saturn being in Abhijit Nakshatra, you may not go too far. Let's say you try to be an entrepreneur, you try to be a businessman. You may not. But if you add the element of following dharma, following a righteous path with your business, you will find victory. Especially if this nakshatra, or if this particular nakshatra of Abhijit is occurring in the Uttara Ashada nakshatra, you must do some righteous deed in order to find victory in this life. Especially with Saturn. Saturn is the judge of everything. Saturn is your karma karaka planet. The actions that you must perform. How are you going to perform it? That's Mars, which is action. Saturn shows the action that you are to perform. And because this is such a pure nakshatra, any deed done for selfish reasons, you will not find victory in there. You must have some agenda for a larger crowd. I want to serve other people. How do I do this? I want to help the poor. I want to help people realize the value of my religion or value of God. That's where this nakshatra finds victory. And what is Saturn? Saturn represents servants. Okay? Saturn represents the working class people, the people that are out there working and grinding themselves. Saturn represents that. It's sitting in the Abhijit Nakshatra, especially in whoever's case it is. That means Saturn wants to find victory for its people, because Saturn is that person that is in the mines, in the mill, in the factory working. So if you have Saturn here and you say like, well, Saturn, I want to create a company, that, sells cameras. And I know I'm going to find victory because I have the best camera. You may not, because then it's not really doing anything for society itself. A working class person in a factory may not be able to afford your camera. So the victory is not going to be there unless that dharmic intuition is there. Like, for example, with Saturn, if you have this, say, I want to bring the knowledge of the Vedas to the world. I want to let them know what this is. Or I want to have a business where I can generate money to help poor people and get their healthcare going. You decide on that with this particular Saturn. You see how rapidly you find things to do and how you find victory in achieving this goal. It cannot be a material goal with this particular planet in this nakshatra. Venus and Abhijit, you'll find victory in luxury items, selling Prada purses, having clubs and all that. Fine, you found your victory. Saturn does not do that. Saturn is all about giving yourself to the society, giving yourself to the public. You need to do something dharmic. You need to do something pure for this nakshatra to activate itself, because Saturn has that power of sitting on something and just delaying it or stopping it. So you don't want Saturn to sit and not have this nakshatra in motion. You want to let Saturn keep moving slowly, because Saturn limps. It moves slowly. So you want to have him move in this nakshatra, not stand on this nakshatra. So this is one particular nakshatra where usually you will find more dharmic figures, spiritual figures, social figures, people who want to do something for the society, for their country. Especially with Saturn, Sun, and Jupiter. These are the three planets you will find. People who like you may actually find, I don't know, I'm not saying that I found it, but all the people who aspire to be IAS officers and wanting to be IPS officer, you may find this nakshatra working in their chart, because they're doing a dharmic deed. They're there to help the society, not really help themselves. There's nothing wrong with helping yourself. Just don't expect this with this particular planet being in this nakshatra. Simple. You want to create a clothing line, you want to be the next Sean John and Gucci. Well, this particular planet may not really help you with this Abhijit nakshatra. Pick some other planet to be in this nakshatra. You want to be a banker, you want to go into big finance. This Saturn position may not really help you, because unless you're using that finance to help the poor, to help the needy, to show Saturn that, look, I am helping everyone. I am improving the economy with me making $1 billion. I am helping the poor, not just my rich banker friends. You will find victory. Otherwise, if you go for that, Saturn will one day, boom, put a stamp like, stop. Not going to happen. So this is something that you need to understand with this nakshatra. And next week we will cover Saturn and Saravan Nakshatra. Okay, so guys, if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your Saturn is placed, all my books, reports, consultations, for that, check out the links here. And also check out my t-shirts and my clothing line. No, it's not in my Saturn, not in Abhijit Nakshatra. But yes, it's here. And then also, actually, yes, I want to thank everyone. I want to really thank everyone who has gotten my, my t-shirts, my sweatshirts, merchandise, spreading KRS out there. A really big thank you. I mean, it just shows how much you guys love this channel, how much you guys love me, how many of you have adored me. I had one person buy literally 10 items. I'm like, wow. They bought like one of this t-shirt, 2 of this sweatshirt, 1 of that t-shirt, 1 of that t-shirt. I'm like, wow. Mostly like people were buying 2 or 3. I'm like, this is amazing. So thank you so much. Okay. And if you actually want to check out my merchant store, it's in the description section. See you later. Bye-bye.